Thanks for sticking with us this Wednesday, 9:10 this morning. The nonprofit organization Global Speech and Hearing Incorporated provides speech, language, and hearing training and services across the globe to both children and adults.
Yeah, this Saturday they are hosting a fundraising event to raise money for a project in Ghana that would bring hearing screenings to elementary and secondary children.
For more on the event and how you can take part at home, we are joined now by Shelley DiMartino-Odai and Ann Totes. Thank you both so much for waking up and joining us this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. So first and foremost, talk to us about the work being done in Ghana.
So I've been to Ghana twice. I was there in 2022, and then I went last summer. I met with some doctors there who are very interested in having us come back. We have selected a group of 80 children because in Ghana they don't have hearing screenings. In the United States, when children are born and then also when they go to school, they receive hearing screenings as part of their health and educational plans.
That is amazing.
Thank you.
That really is something special and something so many people probably don't even think about.
Yes.
The ability to hear and see and all of that. Tell us, if you don't mind, a little bit, a bigger picture of the work that Global Speech and Hearing Incorporated does.
Well, we are a small not-for-profit with a mission to provide services, speech and language services, and education for the underserved populations, both here in our community and globally, obviously, with Ghana. So we do so through activities at public libraries here, health fairs, and special programs. For instance, tonight they're going to do a Zoom meeting for parents of Spanish-speaking children and to educate them about typical language development and the importance of intervention.
Terrific. All right, let's dive into the fundraiser aspect of this. Tell us all about it.
Okay, so we have an amazing group called Wamba Africa Drumming and Dance. They are from Ghana. They arrived here in 2019, and they're going to be doing a drumming workshop, and then they have a performance. We have a whole bunch of raffles. We have raffles from Jim's Restaurant on Main, Brugger's, many other ones. And then we also have jewelry for sale from Ghana.
Oh, lovely.
That's really great.
So there's really something for everyone at this event.
Yes.
And it's, I imagine it's open to all ages.
Anyone can come.
Yes.
Wow. What kind of a commitment is the work that both of you do?
Well, we both work full-time at other jobs.
Yes.
We have three other board members that work full-time and have families, but we do meet once a month. And then we speak in between to talk about grant writing. We've had meetings to discuss the fundraisers and how we're going to get to Africa, and dedicated speech pathologists, all five of us.
It's really remarkable work, and that when you're off the clock, you're not really off the clock.
Exactly.
You're still putting the effort in. What does that help you sleep well at night? I imagine it does, knowing that you're doing good.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, really, it's a labor of love, and you just want to share your knowledge and help people. So, yeah.
Thank you both so much for coming in today. Thank you for your time and for all of the work that you're doing. For somebody sitting at home who wants to come by the fundraiser, give us the date, time, place, information, all they need to know.
So it's this Saturday, February 1st, 5:30 to 7:30 at Lovin Cup.
Very good.
Perfect. And again, we will post all of that information for you at home on our website, foxrochester.com, after the show.
We still have a lot to get to here on ARC Rochester, including when we come back, we're once again going behind the story.
We're back on the other side of the break.
9:18, welcome back. We are once again going behind the story, continuing to follow some of the top headlines this Wednesday morning.
Yeah, we want to talk about that high-stakes move, though, to freeze federal funding that is now
just minutes before it was set to take effect. And Stephanie Joseph is in the newsroom this morning with more on the pause. And Steph, there's a lot to unpack here.
Yes, definitely, that is for sure. And I think the main thing is there's a lot of confusion surrounding what this could even mean. It seems like a very broad action that's happening, but a lot of the concern comes from a lot of services that Americans who need them, low-income Americans, for example, may not be able to get the services that they need. I know one example that was brought up yesterday at the press secretary's conference was like Meals on Wheels, for example. What would happen to organizations like that that receive federal money so that they can deliver food to the elderly? Different services like that may be in jeopardy. It's still unclear exactly what is going to be happening here.
So, Steph, what does this mean for the American people who depend on this grant money, this funding, or these organizations that depend on it, if this freeze falls through?
So as of right now, we know that there is that temporary pause that is on it. That will last through next Monday. Hopefully by then there will be some sort of guidance or decision from the U.S. District Judge that put this in place. Another thing to note as well is that there's more legal implications. We know that the Attorney General, our Attorney General here, Tish James, had joined a coalition of about 22 others in order to challenge what is going on here because of the concern that remains around programs that receive federal funding, Medicaid, for example, as well.
Steph, I imagine that we've heard from members of Congress. So what did they have to say about this?
Yeah, I first want to start with the White House to exactly understand why this guidance came about. It is rooted in trying to comply with executive orders, but the press secretary also spoke to more about this yesterday. Let's see if we can play that.
It means no more funding for illegal DEI programs. It means no more funding for the Green New scam that has cost American taxpayers tens of billions of dollars. It means no more funding for transgenderism and wokeness across our federal bureaucracy and agencies.
One of the reasons why we're in the mess we're in with the $36 trillion national debt is that we're not being wise stewards of the taxpayer dollar. So this is welcome. And
brought up another one is just understanding what money is being spent for, trying to, in a sense, itemize or see exactly if there are any places where unnecessary spending is happening. But we know that on the other side of the aisle, we've heard from local lawmakers here speaking out against this out of the concern that I touched on just a bit before.
This funding, though, is completely legal because it's all passed through Congress. This is not something that the previous president, Joe Biden, said, oh, yes, okay, we can just give the money to these organizations. There were measures put in place. It went through the House and the Senate. It was voted on and passed, correct?
Yeah, which is why I also believe that some other lawmakers are speaking out. One point of this is some people kind of questioning the constitutionality of this action, henceforth why there is that temporary pause, and also other lawmakers jumping on that another lawsuit to challenge what is going on here. We do have sound from the other side, some Democratic lawmakers that I do want to play. Let's see if we can pull that up here.
Donald Trump's reckless action cut off funding to law enforcement, farmers, schools, child care, veterans, and health care. While he was out golfing, he threw the country into crisis. This is not bold. It's not leadership. It's stupid, buffoonish, childish of exactly what they did.
The dagger at the heart of the average American family in red states, in blue, in cities, in suburbs, in rural areas.
Yeah, so very strong words and feelings coming from implications of this action should it continue through.
Heated on both sides here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. All right, Stephanie, last question for you. Decision on this. When could this pause potentially be lifted? When could this freeze potentially be thrown out?
Yeah, so as of right now, we know that that freeze, that pause, I should say rather, will be lasting through at least 5 next Monday. Depending on what may come of the court's decision in that regard, we will have to see. But again, things are still up in the air at the moment.
All right. Stephanie Joseph in the newsroom. Thanks so much. We appreciate it.
9:23 this morning. Stick around. A lot more to come right here on ARC Rochester.
We're back after this.
Good Wednesday morning. Thanks so much for sticking with us here on ARC Rochester. I'm Dan Schratt.
I'm Abby Fridman. We still have a lot to get to coming up in the next half hour, but we're going to turn now and talk about some changes coming for small business owners and employees.
Yeah, some important information here. As President Donald Trump settles into his new administration, changes in policy could have a major impact on the economy.
This morning, we're learning more about what's in store and how you can prepare for some of these changes. For more, we're joined now by CPA and small business owner Gene Marks. Gene, thank you so much for being here today. We appreciate it.
Hey, Abby, it's good to see you. Dan as well.
Yes, good to see you too. Let's get right into it. 2025 small business outlook, what can we expect?
So, first of all, the National Federation of Independent Businesses has reported that small business optimism is at a 6-year high. So that's really great news, considering that small businesses employ almost half the people in this country and generate half the GDP. But at the same time, we have a lot of challenges coming up this year for small businesses, a lot of uncertainty and a lot of compliance things that businesses need to be aware of.
Where can we dive right into that list, Gene? What's bullet point number 1 for our small business viewers?
Well, compliance. So there's minimum wage issues, there's mandatory time off issues, there's retirement plan issues as well. There's federal laws now in place for retirement plans. Businesses that have new 401k plans are now required to enroll their employees in these plans as well. A lot of my clients are not aware of this kind of thing. So these are all regulations and compliance rules that businesses need to be aware of. And what's happening, guys, is that the federal government is kind of backing off on this stuff, and it's all being pushed down to the state and local area. And it's not just if you have employees in New York State. I mean, maybe you've got employees in other parts of the country because they're working remotely. All the states are implementing their rules over paid leave and retirement and minimum wage, and all of these things need to be taken into consideration.
What kind of response have you heard, at least from some small business owners, related to these changes?
Frustration. It's a lot of work. There was some study that came out, keep up to date on the rules and the regulations and, places. And, you know what I'm telling people to do is an HR company to help you with all this compliance. I mean, Paychex is your hometown company in Rochester. I have a lot of clients that use them. They do all the compliance work. They handle all the regulations. They do all that stuff, as well as payroll processing. And then a small business, you get to focus on what you do to run your small business and not have to worry about all this other stuff. And there's a lot of stuff that you really have to keep track of.
When you're talking, though, about a mom and pop shop that has 10 or 15 employees in total, and that includes, grandpa who's running the line in the back, where does that money come from to pay for the compliance and to pay the tax guy if they're used to just doing the books themselves?
Yeah, I mean, Dan, I have to tell you, it's an opportunity cost. I mean, you're doing the book yourself and you're doing your own payroll. You make one mistake on a payroll tax return and you're getting buried in notices from the IRS. If you are not up to date on some of the compliance rules in New York State, then you could become in big trouble and be spending a lot of time having to deal with the regulators and fixing what that problem is. And, if I've learned anything from running a business for 30 years, it's that, you do what you do best and you outsource the rest, And maybe like doing this stuff 20 years ago was easier, but nowadays it's complex. So, you have to outsource it because the amount of time and money you're spending doing it on your own, it way outweighs the benefits of just outsourcing and letting somebody do it for you so you can focus on your own business.
It really sounds like the cost to benefit ratio here and the potential headache you're avoiding by bringing in that extra help.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's happening is that the federal government as well is, again, there are less rules from the federal side. It is, and when people say, is it more pro-business, maybe you can take it that way. But you just have to be aware that those rules are now being shifted down to the states. And the states are doing, a lot more regulations on their employers. Same thing with AI. I mean, 8 states around the country are now implementing AI rules and regulations over how you hire and use some of these applications for recruiting, for example, and talent management. You have to make sure you're in compliance with that stuff. And if you're not, you could be facing big penalties. It's just another reason why I keep telling my clients, you got to outsource this stuff and let the experts worry about it.
And a great resource for somebody sitting at home who might be asking themselves some of these questions. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
You got it, guys. Take care.
You too.
You too.
Time right now is 9:32. We still have a lot to come here on ARC Rochester. What people are talking about this morning.
We certainly are. And don't forget, you can also watch us on the go wherever you are. We're streaming live right now on the 13 Wham YouTube channel.
You
We
sure?
hope we are back right after this.
Let's take a look at what people are talking about on the internet this morning in our segment of Trending Now. And we're going to start out with a, I hate this, a
It's true.
66 million year old piece of history found in Denmark. And it's not what you think, although it's right at the bottom of your screen.
Yeah. Okay. You see, this makes it look like we are the most famous vomit in the world with that super just over us, and we're not showing
Aren't
the
we,
actual
though?
image. So one Dutch fossil hunter discovered we'll call it a blob of vomit on his most recent exhibition. This vomit contained sea lily remains as well as indigestible skeleton parts of animals.
Okay, I'm sorry. I can't stand it. I can't stand throw up. So
And I can't stand
this is
them.
gross. One paleontologist says it was a truly unusual find, but not because it was vomit, rather because of the sea lilies.
Okay, first and foremost, how do they know this is vomit?
How do I know?
No, I'm asking
Okay.
theoretical.
Yeah.
Like it's 66 million years old. We've done some carbon dating. How do we know this is vomit?
So gross. I can't even look at it.
The discovery provides some important and new knowledge, I guess, about the relationship between predator and prey and the food chains of sea creatures.
The vomit can be viewed in Denmark at a Danish history museum, but it'll only be on display during the winter holidays.
Come on, pack the family up. Let's go look at the puke. Oh, boy.
You know what? Hey, can you imagine getting that excited about something?
Yeah.
You're like, yes!
So excited it makes you sick.
Yeah.
Get it?
Yeah, I got it.
You got it. All right, we got to move along to another story. A Tennessee restaurant has quite the unique installation.
Yeah, a Chinese buffet created their own koi pond, and one customer took a snap of the makeshift pond, posting it on social media, calling it ridiculous. Those poor little guys.
That's inappropriate. That is
awful.
not okay. The koi enclosure is seen built directly on the floor of the dining room. This quote-unquote pond is outfitted with a modest wall. This is pretty egregious.
Yeah, it also has a waterfall and a couple indoor plants, too. A lot of people on social media are debating the whimsical feature. Some are sharing photos of other restaurants with makeshift features, like that one right there. Laguna Beach.
Okay, those are like alligators or crocodiles in that water there.
Yeah.
A lot of them, and that looks like a pool.
What is this?
Okay, I don't know, but an electrical outlet that close to the water.
Koi pond, and I raise you the faux spot with the lizard enclosure.
Okay, the lizard, I don't know. He might be content with that. Just
be
some
all right.
heat. Is there another one here? I don't like okay, yeah. Listen, we need to reach out to that restaurant. There needs to be a one of those online petitions. They got to get rid of that. That's inappropriate. I don't like. It's a hole in the floor.
Yeah. And koi are expensive.
Yes.
That's not like, that's an investment.
They're expensive, but they're also living creatures.
you're totally right.
Treat them with a little respect, people.
There you
No, we got to get rid of this. Get
Okay.
rid of it. Remember when Michael Scott fell into the koi pond?
I do, yes. All right, let's get into some food stories this morning, starting with a collaboration that is bound to be a favorite.
All right, Wendy's is partnering up with the Girl Scouts of the USA. They're releasing the Thin Mints Frosty.
Whoa.
Oh.
All right, it'll be released at Wendy's nationwide starting February 21st, and representatives from Wendy's say the decision was an easy one since everyone knows Thin Mints are extra delicious when they're frozen.
And by
that is true.
representatives, you mean Wendy herself.
Wendy herself.
Wendy herself. She's a viewer. The
Big
Frosty is swirled with thin mint cookie flavor. It's finished with a crumbly cookie butter top. That's the cookie butter topping sounds really delightful.
Yeah, I need it. Customers can either get it with a chocolate or vanilla Frosty base.
You gotta do both.
And then, of course, and then the release of the Frosty comes just in time for Girl Scout cookie season.
And then you get yourself some Thin Mints on the side, and you dip and eat, and make yourself little Thin Mint ice cream sandwiches.
Can you eat Thin Mints or no?
I don't. Probably not.
Probably not. No. You're missing out.
And they're getting rid of my favorite, the s'mores.
The s'mores one.
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
devastating.
All right, to another collaboration now. You may not have seen this one coming, and it's bringing a new meaning to dessert for breakfast.
Okay, Kellanova, formerly known as Kellogg's, is releasing a variety of sweet treats. First from Eggo, they're coming with 3 ice cream flavors.
Ooh, you've got buttery maple ice cream, chocolatey chip ice cream, and blueberry ice cream. The buttery maple one, oh my gosh,
all
that
sound
sounds
good.
delightful.
Inspired, obviously, by the flavors and textures of Eggo waffles. The flavors all come in both pints and ice cream sandwich form.
Look at that.
Oh.
The sandwiches include brown butter waffle cookies. Oh my gosh.
Take me out, Coach. I'm done. I'll eat all of them.
Is it? Oh, and they're the same flavors.
Yep.
Same ice cream flavors. This is delightful. I like it.
No notes.
When can we get these? Where can we get these? Can we get these? And
Ashley?
try it.
Gotta keep reading.
Oh.
Okay.
Suspense.
Moving on to Rice Krispies here. They are releasing pints and ice cream sandwiches as well. Abigail, the flavors?
Original, strawberry, and triple chocolate. They contain marshmallow flavored ice cream, chunks of Rice Krispie treats, and the sandwiches also include the use of actual Rice Krispie treats as the cookie. All of these will be coming to Walmart soon.
I can't get over the strawberry one. Listen, original sounds good, but the strawberry, it just looks like I could. That 3-pack. That ain't lasting.
Well, a 3-pack?
That's who's that feeding? Who is that feeding?
Me. That is something that I would buy and then hide in the freezer in like a bag of spinach.
See,
so
no, that's something I would buy and then people wouldn't know that I did it because I would just eat it in one sitting. 3 ice cream sandwiches? Who can't do that? It's not a lot of damage. Come on. No, it is not. It's 3 ice cream sandwiches, Abigail.
All right, fine.
All right. Well, now that we've had our dessert, first it's time to switch to the main entree. Now, Popeyes teaming up with Don Julio Tequila. Why don't you read this one?
Releasing a one-of-a-kind culinary mashup, the championship lineup menu. The chain says the new collab comes in preparation for the Super Bowl, and the menu includes Don Julio, reposado flavored
Concho
chicken?
Yeah.
It's a sandwich.
Yeah. A chicken breast marinated in reposado tequila. Ooh. Served with a tequila lime tequila lime coleslaw.
On board.
And a spicy spread and a pickle.
Yeah. Also, the tequila flavored Louisiana garlic 3-piece wings. They have a specialty sauce as well, and then they also have a spicy strawberry hibiscus flavored lemonade mocktail.
I like it. The special menu will be available for 1 day and 1 day only, January 31st. 2 days from now, 1 day from now.
It's tomorrow.
Tomorrow. It's going to be 2 days from now. Will be served only in select restaurants in New York City, Miami, New Orleans, and of course, Philly and Kansas City.
It would have been served in Buffalo, producer Ashley is saying, if the Bills had made the Super Bowl.
Oh, well, that's not fun. I'm intrigued as to what's going on with the bun there. What kind of bun is that?
I don't know. It does look a little strange,
It
though.
does look strange.
Is it supposed to look like a football?
Well, it looks like a basketball, don't you think?
I do think.
I don't know. Buttery Mexican chancha roll.
Okay.
That's what we're being told.
For those who are unable to try the new menu, they can redeem a buy one, get one free offer on Uber Eats.
Oh, okay. That's fair. That's fair. So you get double the deal.
Yeah.
Just not the good meal.
Whoa.
Stick around. We've got so much more to come this morning here on ARC Rochester, including when we come back, we are previewing some special Lunar New Year events.
Yeah, we're back right after this.
9:47 this morning. As we've been saying throughout the morning, today is the Lunar New Year, and for the first time in state history, public schools are closed today in celebration.
Yeah, this morning we wanted to learn more about the holiday and some of the local celebrations set for our community. For more this morning, we're joined now by the president of the Asian Pacific Islander American Association of Greater Rochester, Mimi Lee. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for being here.
Good morning. Thank you for
Review of why the Lunar New Year is so important.
It's very interesting that you asked because, it's celebrated for, I think, over 1 billion people on our planet. So many times we asked for the day off, but we weren't able to get off. But I know when I was a student, I always had to ask for it off. And also when I'm working, I take a personal day to get off because why should I work on my New Year's? Because it's a big holiday for us.
Absolutely. So talk to us about this Lunar New Year. What makes this year more important?
I think we're coming after the Year of the Dragon, which is a big year, and the Year of the Snake, which is ushering in today, is also known as a Little Dragon, but it's supposed to be a new start, a new beginning. And it seems like coincides greatly with what's going on in our country and our world right now.
So what does that mean? The Year of the Snake, a year of new beginnings. Tell us a little bit more about the background involved with that.
Sure. Well, I'm not sure if you know about the Chinese zodiac. It follows with 12 animals, and they each take a turn over a 12-year cycle, and every 60 years it comes back again. So this is Year of the Snake. Is the sixth animal of the 12 animals in the Chinese zodiac. And the snake, usually most Westerners think the snake is really bad, it's wicked, but the Chinese has a different view. The Eastern thinks that each of these animals have their own unique characteristics. And those born in the Year of Snake could be viewed as elegant, as charming, as well as being cunning and wise. So it's very interesting how the animals of each of the animal years.
It's very intriguing. It's always interesting to learn about different cultures, to embrace different cultures and to dive deep into them because I think it broadens your perspective of the world, which is why it's great that we have so many events that are happening here locally. So let's start talking about some of them. What can people expect around town?
So a few of the restaurants do have lion dances, so you have to look around which restaurants have it, and they will be advertising it. So either you go for a nice meal and you get a bonus, you get the lion dance. Each of the community, what you're seeing online is the lion dance from last year's first community-wide celebration of the Lunar New Year, hosted by PAPA, which is the Asian Pacific Americans Public for Public Policy. They are the first. They first came on board last year, and they really make a splash. They brought together a lot of communities to celebrate the Lunar New Year. And last year was actually the first time that Governor Hochul made the Lunar New Year a school holiday, so the kids didn't benefit. But this year is on a Wednesday, and the kids are so excited to be getting the day off.
Absolutely. Can you tell us the significance behind the lion dance?
Sure. The lion dance, as you know, the lions are not actually in the Asia, but the lions are usually known as protector. So the lions are mimicking the cat. The lion dance mimics the cat, and the whole thing is to be alert, to bring people together, to bring good fortune. So some rituals of the lions, you see it do a ceremonial bow to honor all the folks. And then you also see the lion also would take in a lettuce. It means a good life. And they will chew up the lettuce and they will spit it out to share the good life, the good fortune with everyone. So, and then people you will see would give them money packets. So they dance around you and you give them the money and then they will dance for you and give you good fortune. So the lion is very, I can see it's very, very cute and active.
Can you, are there any other events that are happening today? We're running low on time, so I just want to make sure that people at home know where they can go if they'd like to take part in the celebrations.
This Saturday, actually, my church, the Rochester Chinese Christian Church, is hosting a Chinese New Year outreach. And then the Ultra the Vietnamese community, which is also hosting about the same time. I don't have a flyer for that, but you can go online and look them up. There are many smaller celebrations by different groups. So if you're part of that group, you will go in there. But the biggest one is the community-wide celebration on Saturday, next Saturday, February 8th. And we have lots of activities for kids. We have demos of the lion dance. We have ikebana. We have dance workshop, lanterns, red packets, and actually the hongbao. All the kids love the hongbao. They would get this, and they look forward to this every year. It's lucky money and there would be a bowing ceremony at the Saturday event where the kids will bow to the parents, and they will receive the lucky money packet.
Mimi Lee, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate you joining us this morning and laying this all out for us. Thank you again, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. Same to everyone.
Time right now is 9:54. When we come back, our final thoughts on this Wednesday morning.
We're back after this.
Time for our final thoughts in the morning here on ARC Rochester.
All right, let's get to the poll of the day. This morning, we are celebrating the Lunar New Year, so we wanted to know which zodiac animal best matches your personalities. Your options: a rabbit, a dog, a snake, or a dragon. The results.
The dog.
A lot of people picked the dog.
Okay. All right.
See, dragon, though, did well, too.
And you know what? Christian Garzone was giggling to himself over there. He said, who's going to pick the snake?
Well, 19.4% of you
and
picked
it's the year
the snake.
Of the snake.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, know yourself.
Absolutely. I like it. Hey, that does it for us here on...
We'll be back there later this morning. 13 Wham News at midday, which is the afternoon.
Have a good one.